Jacqui, 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 Jingle Jacqui.
What is up, everyone? Happy Thursday and welcome to the Jingle Jacqui Live Show. I am so excited that you're here tonight. Maria, I see you're on there. I know my husband's on there. We have our friend over, so I think by default he is watching as well. And I know we have a few other people who are on there too. So thank you so much for tuning live. You guys are the absolute best in all of the land. All of the land. If you see over here... You see, I have my new little icon over there because every week I reference a whole bunch of websites. These are the three. This is all my domain. Hey, what's up, babe? I see your comment. I see you, husband. Guys, my husband is Jeremiah Allsbrook. You'll see him in the chat. He is my bearded stallion, my wonderful warrior of life and love and all things great. Well, either way, my name is Jacqui Allsbrook. I go by Jingle Jacqui. I do my brief introduction because I know I get replays on here. So for those tuning in later in the week, thank you so much for joining. I'm Jacqui Allsbrook. I go by Jingle Jacqui because I sing my way through absolutely everything, and I'm not even exaggerating. You can ask my children, you can ask my husband, and oftentimes it's not welcomed in my home because it's not necessarily about good things all the time. Like if we get like attitudes at the dinner table, I'll normally sing about it, and that sure does not help the attitude go away, but it at least makes it a little more palatable for me and my husband as we kind of make fun of the situation. So anyway, Jingle Jacqui it is. Also, I have been heavily into music since I was 5, and I've been leading worship since I was allowed to at the age of 11 for children, and then as I aged up in what I led worship for, so that's just part of it. I didn't know where else to ask you this, but I want to donate, but I do not have PayPal. Can I use my credit card? Oh, Maria, thank you so much. Yes, you can use your credit card. So these links over here, if you go to my website, JingleJacqui.com, you can find a link through PayPal, or you can just, I do believe you can just donate without PayPal. I'm trying to think of how you can do that. If you go to my Patreon account, patreon.com/JingleJacqui, it's listed on here. Yo, what's up, Randy? Welcome. Good to have you. If you go to patreon.com, and Maria, by the way, thank you so much for asking, patreon.com/JingleJacqui, if you actually go over there, you could sign up for a monthly thing where it's like $1, $5, or $10 a month, or you can do a one-time donation over on my Patreon account with your credit card as well. So if all else fails, you can do it through that. If you pull up, just let me know if you actually do check out the Patreon website. So yeah, anyway, thank you for asking, Maria. I really appreciate that. And yeah, so anyway, I'm Jacqui. You could check out all my things. JingleJacqui.com has my website, but also on my website, guys, I didn't announce this last week, and I have to put up a video of this in the future. I don't have it prepared for tonight. On my website, I have an awesome feature that I am super proud of that I was almost featured on Shark Tank for. I made it through a whole bunch of executive producers, and I unfortunately did just not have enough sales in it, and this was way back when, so I probably would not make it now on the show. But it's still a cool fact. I was almost on Shark Tank. I have things on my website called Send a Jingle. And what it is I record a jingle with your loved one's name in it, and I put a little video with my jingle in it for their birthday, and you can send it to them for their birthday. And these jingles are hilarious. It's so good. So if you check out that portion on my website, so good. Okay, so anyway, I don't want to bore you with all of my business ventures, but if you just check out my website, you'll see all of my things. All the way on the bottom, you'll see the allsbrookfamily.com. My husband and I have a blog. My husband was a pastor for 10 years. I've been a worship leader for 25 plus years. And my husband church planted as a pastor's kid his whole entire life before he was an actual pastor. So we have been through many things between the two of us. We love to blog about it because we love talking about the Christian taboo topics. We love shining a huge spotlight on it and helping those who've been through it feel validated, put scripture with it, and show you that God can still use you and your story. So yeah, there's that. Nice to see you, Jacqui. Nice to see you too, Randy. Yay! Oh, look, we're all bonding now. We've got our comment section going, which is my favorite part about these live shows. So anyway, that's what we have with that. Now, if you haven't done that, I forgot to do my welcome. Welcome to the Jingle Jacqui Live Show. Hey, get my border on there. And then if you haven't done it yet, please go ahead and subscribe. Subscribe to my channel. I am hoping to hit 1,000 by December. If I don't, it's not the end of the world. I'll be okay. I still love what I'm doing. I'm going to continue on, but I would love to monetize this channel as another means of income for my family and I. But anyway, all the boring stuff out of the way. This is what is coming up tonight. Tonight, I'm going to be going over my cover of Oh Praise the Name, one of my absolute favorite worship songs, and just what I hear in my head when I lead worship on the platform with this song. I hear 10,000 harmonies, and it's great. And then after that music video, I will give you an amazing story of what God has done in me and my family's life, really this year, but especially something that took place over the summer. An absolute testimony to the goodness of God and a straight up miracle that he had performed in my family's life, specifically in my oldest daughter. So I will explain to you my why I covered Oh Praise the Name. I typically have a why with each song that I pick and a story or scripture or something. So I will share that with all of you after I play that video for all of you. So I'm really excited. I'm a worship leader, so I love covering worship songs. It really is my heart. I love covering everything. But worship songs are the ones I know like the back of my hand. I'm not seeing where I can use my credit card. I don't want to take up your live about this. Can I message you another way about this? Yes, I'm going to put my email, Maria, in the chat right now. JingleJacqui@gmail.com. All right, so you can go ahead and shoot me an email, Maria. And then I know you said you had a prayer request last time. If you'd rather email it to me, you can do that too. And I'll keep that in prayer throughout the week. So I'm sorry that it's being difficult. I might have to do some back-end stuff because I thought that was a possibility. But yeah, go ahead and shoot me an email so I can address that. But thank you so much for your heart. I really appreciate it. That's awesome. You're awesome. So there is that. Remember, comment with your name so I can give you a shout out, and I answer every comment. Great. Thanks, dear. You're very welcome, Maria. And thank you. So we have that, and then after Oh Praise the Name, I will let you know what I'm currently working on, and I would normally give a snapshot of what's happening, but once I'm caught up with my songs, I will start doing more behind the scenes work. So that is to come in the future. So yeah, that's what's going on for tonight. So before we get into that, just thank you to all of my current patrons. I think I have 11, and you guys are so awesome. Thank you so much. So I will say these are my shout outs right now. We have Pete, Elizabeth, Rowland, Kim, my mom Diane, Jean Marie, Paige, Anna, Desi, Paul, Peggy, Jess, Lisa, Fran, and Rebecca. Thank you all so much for standing behind me and my family and supporting me financially in my jingle business and endeavors to be able to make a living while doing this. No, it may be me. I'm not good with technology. I'm probably just not finding where it says use credit card. Okay, so if you email me, I could probably send some screenshots if I can look into that for you, Maria. All right, and then, so thank you to all of my patrons for sponsoring the Jingle Jacqui Live Show. Basically, you are my partners, you're awesome, you're my homies for life. And I do have a $1 tier on my Patreon account. So if you're able to give $1 a month, it won't look like much to you, but if a few people end up doing that, or even in time, if 1,000 people do that, that will help me greatly to be able to keep putting music videos out and keep running my show while supporting my family. So there is that. All of the house cleaning done. So now I want to know, everybody, what is in your cup tonight? Last week I had cold brew with pumpkin spice foam from Dunkin' Donuts. I know some people are huge Dunkin' Donut people, and I know some people are huge Dunkin' Donut haters. So I'm sorry if I offend. Oh, it might have been Starbucks. I could be lying on accident. Today I don't have that. Today I have my healthy water. And look, it has a silhouette of my husband on it. And then the silhouette of my head, and creepily our faces fell off of my silhouettes. So now we have ghost faces on my water bottle. But yeah, what's in your cups tonight, everybody? Cups is just curious. And then after that, we will move along into the joke of the week, which is obviously one of my favorite portions of this live show each time. I know there's a 30-second gap, so I'm just going to wait and see. People might not have anything in their cups tonight. Maybe you have a plate. Maybe you have a heart full of love. Who knows? My mom's normally watching, and she normally has something like pancake batter or something weird. So I guess I'll have to find out tomorrow, whatever she had tonight. Well, I will move along into the joke of the week. So if you all are ready for this, I have to be very careful on my enunciation. All right, so for the joke of the week, What do sea monsters eat? What do sea monsters eat? So I will give your Jeopardy theme song in way too low a key because I always bottom out. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I always bought like I said. All right, guys. So, oh, whoops, sorry for hitting the mic there. What do sea monsters eat? They eat fish and ships. Aha! Hey! Oh, we got a guess in there. Seaweed. I mean, it's a good guess, Maria. It just doesn't have that little jab of a pun in it. You know what I'm saying? That's just more of a literal thing. Fish and ships. Oh, bop, bop, ba-da, bop. Now you can tell all of your coworkers, all of your friends. If you're a dad watching, tell all your children and tell your children's friends and your children's children and their children. We can just spread the cheer all around. All right, everybody. So I think we're in due time. I'm caught up with comments. I think we're in great time now to get the show on the road and watch my music video. So this is my cover of Oh Praise the Name. This song was written by Hillsong, and I will share and elaborate more after the music video is done. But I had done this song already. It's one of my favorite worship songs, but this sounds more like a hymn, but it's a modern day song that was written a few years ago. So it has a hymn-like feel, and I'm a big fan of hymns already anyway, so it already gripped me from the start. But this was my first song that I wanted to do in response to a family crisis, a family emergency that we had over the summer. An accident with my daughter had occurred, and it got very serious very quickly, and I'm going to go into more detail after the music video. The music video, though, shows a little bit of it. I get a little vulnerable in the video. I'm not someone who has tears and shows this stuff on film. I normally get a kick out of the people who do those reels with the emotional music playing and they just sit there and cry in front of the camera. I know some people are touched by that stuff. I think it's kind of funny because I'm like, I can't imagine crying and then pulling out my phone and just being like, oh, you know. But actually, while recording the video to this and singing, I actually lost it, knowing what God had just done for me and my family and the way he miraculously saved our daughter. So I will elaborate more, but without further ado, just give me a second to turn off my camera and my mic. I'm going to turn it over to my own music video. I love you guys, and stay tuned for afterwards. I will talk to you after and share that testimony with you. All right, give it just a second while I transfer over. I'll talk to you guys soon. Hey guys, it did something really weird and it was glitching, so I'm just making sure that I have this caught up and in sync, so sorry to start that over again. Sometimes that happens, so better luck on a second chance. So let's give this another shot, guys. Give me a second while I set this up again. I will be back afterwards.
Cast my mind to Calvary, where Jesus bled and died for me. I see his wounds, his hands, his feet, my Savior on that cursed tree. His body bound and drenched in tears, they laid him down in Joseph's tomb, the entrance sealed by heavy stone. Messiah still and all alone. Oh, praise the name of the Lord our God. Oh, praise His name forevermore. For endless days we will sing your praise, oh Lord, oh Lord our God. Then on the third, at break of dawn, the Son of Heaven rose again. Oh, trampled death, where is your sting? The angels roar for Christ the King. Oh, praise the name of the Lord our God. Oh, praise His name forevermore. For endless days we will sing your praise, oh Lord, oh Lord our God. He shall return in robes of white, the blazing sun shall pierce the night, and I will rise among the saints, my gaze transfixed on Jesus' face. Oh, we look to you, Jesus. Oh, we worship you, Lord. Yes, we trust in you. We trust your name. Ooh, oh Lord, our God. Oh, praise the name of the Lord our God. Oh, praise His name forevermore. For endless days we will sing your praise, oh Lord, our God. Oh Lord, our God. Oh Lord, our God. The name of the Lord our God. Subscribe to me. Won't you subscribe to me? Won't you help feed my family? My kids need to Won't you subscribe to me?
All right, so we did it. Joe, thank you for tuning in. Guys, Joe McGuire, we used to play together on a worship team. He was a drummer on the team with me, I think for 2 years, right, Joe? Was it maybe a little less than that, maybe a year and a half? And he ran sound a few times as well. Also, our guest that we have over, he played about every instrument you could name on my worship team too. And it's just an honor to have these people tuned in tonight. So thank you so much. And then Maria, praise God, miracles do happen. Your daughter is a living testimony. Yes, I will go into a little bit more of that. I know it was very quickly thrown up on that video, and that's just because for some people, they want to hear the harmonies. Not everybody who comes to my channel is saved or knows the gospel of what God has done. So I think if God has done something good in my life, if I could not sneak, but if I can just incorporate some of this stuff even for 10 seconds during an instrumental, that way they can hear the words of the song surrounded by that testimony in there. I thought that was really important. Yeah. So what had happened over the summer and why I really wanted to sing this song in response to that is our daughters have bunk beds. When I got let go in January, they both had their own bedrooms, and I needed a home office to record and start this YouTube channel and start my business, which has a lot of equipment and I make merchandise. So I have a ton of machines to make stuff and sell it as well. And it was taking up space in the living room and the kitchen, so I needed a home office. So the girls combined into one room and got bunk beds. And I believe in early July, our oldest daughter, 9 years old, way after bedtime, it was already pitch black in their rooms. She hung upside down, kind of like a bat, with like her arms above her head, so she was face down, and she fell from her bunk bed, all face. It was all face. It was probably a 4-foot fall, but she struck an optic nerve behind her left eyeball, connected to her brain. And the way it was broken to us at the hospital, one of the nurses came in and was like in tears and shaken up, and she's like, "I'm so sorry. I almost lost my son too. He has the same name as your daughter, and God did it. And you guys will learn to trust in God, and you'll learn to work through this journey together." And I was just seeing black, you guys. Like there wasn't red, there was no anger, there was just absolute black in leading up to us going to the ER. Our daughter could not see a thing. She didn't know what happened. She was asking why she was awake, what happened, why is she feeling the way she's feeling, and her face was just swelling up and her eye was just shut. She couldn't open it. And she's like, I can't see anything. What's happening? What happened to me? And did not recollect. I had no recollection of falling at all, like none. So our daughter, the youngest daughter, who was on the bottom bunk, she's 6, and our oldest is 8. She told us what had happened, and we took her to the ER pretty immediately. We thought it was a concussion and a broken nose because her nose looks very displaced when we saw her. So we all went as a family because we did not want her to fall asleep, because we had heard that old myth that you can't fall asleep in the back seat when you have a concussion. Apparently it's not true, so I could have left half the family at home, but for the sake of having an adult to keep her awake in the back seat, we all had to go as a family. So we did that and went to the ER about 5 minutes down the street from us. Thank God it was close. They saw her pretty quickly, and they were like, we need to run CAT scans on her. We don't like to do that with children, and we're like, yes, please do. We need to make sure that this concussion can go away if that's what it is. And we waited probably 2 or 3 hours in the hospital. And around 2 a.m. is when that nurse came in all shooken up, and she was like, a trauma unit's on the way. They're going to bring her over to Orlando, to Arnold Palmer Children's Hospital. They're in great hands. They're going to see the neurologist and the surgeons for cosmetic surgery. And we had not heard a thing except for this. And she had told us about how she also almost lost her son, just like our position, according to her words. And they figured it out as a family. They learned how to take all the physical therapy. And she's like, and you should do the same thing, all the physical therapy that's available to you, so she can, relearn how to do everything again. And we're just like, what on earth? Like, our worlds were just spinning. My head was spinning inside my head. And apparently the way she fell, it's not common at all. The way she fell all face was so specific that it struck that optic nerve connected to her brain right behind her eye. And they said, a minimal thing would be if she just lost vision. And they were like, it would be pretty terrible, but that's kind of what we're looking at here. Possible brain damage, traumatic brain injury is what they labeled her paperwork as. So Jeremiah took our youngest daughter home. And it was like 2 a.m. when he took our 6-year-old home so she could get some sleep. I needed to go to the hospital. And he just put a post up on Facebook asking everybody for prayer, saying that Jael was her name is Jael, our 8-year-old, was being transferred to a trauma unit in Orlando, and please pray. So I know I put it in my video, but honestly, there were hundreds of people. And not hundreds of people who woke up at 2 a.m. There were a handful of people who have actually watched our show saying that they were one of those people who woke up at 2 a.m. for no reason and saw Jeremiah's post and started praying. There were so many people. But within an hour or two, it was hundreds of people. People shared it, people commented, people offered their prayers and their words of encouragement, and people called, texted, just letting me know they're praying. And like almost within a half hour to an hour of all that response, Jael started coming to. Like she was just out. She was out cold. She couldn't see a thing. And while all this was going on, oh my gosh, it was so difficult as a mom. And the guilt of knowing that if I didn't combine them into one room and take one of them as an office for myself, they wouldn't have a bunk bed. And then if they didn't have a bunk bed, my sweet girl wouldn't have brain injury or vision loss, so just the guilt of taking that on as a mom. She was asleep in her hospital bed when Jeremiah took our youngest home, and I just curled up next to her and just started bawling, like complete losing it. And I apologized, I prayed, and then I started singing to Jael a song that I wrote for her when she was a baby, which ironically, for the first time in years, I had just sung to Anaya that morning when Anaya sat on my lap during breakfast. And I just hugged her and I sang that song to her and was like, this is the song that I wrote for both of you. And so, oddly enough, I had just sung it that morning. I kid you not, it had been like 5 years since I had last sang that song, maybe 4 years at minimum. And I sang it to Jael, and it's very simple. It's just singing about how she's my baby girl, the cutest little baby in the whole wide world, and Jael, I love you is the chorus. And as I was singing, my voice was just cracking, and then tears were going all over her, and I even, I wiped her face. And as I was wrapping up the song, I'm gonna cry right now, oh my gosh. Because like I said, I couldn't really sing. It was so difficult to be laying next to her and singing that to my sweet girl. I still remember and thinking she has brain loss, because that's what we basically just were told. But as I'm petting her head and trying to get this song out to sing to her, because they love when I sing to them, a tear came out of her eye that wouldn't even open. And she hadn't really been responsive that whole night. And it was right when people were praying for her that I sang that song to her. And she responded to that. And it was just, it was insane. Gosh, I'm going to be a mess. I promise this is not me trying to work something over here. Yeah, so I finished the song and she started crying. I didn't even know she could hear me. And then her hand moved and grabbed my hand. Absolutely insane. And then I cried more. And then I was like, I love you so much. And she was like, Mom, what's going on? Like, she started talking and I was like, oh my gosh, you're awake. So I was like, do you know where we are? She's like, no, what's happening? Am I in trouble? What happened? I was like, no, you're not in trouble. We're in the hospital. Are you okay? How are you feeling? She's like, I'm good. And what's going on? Am I in trouble? She kept thinking, I don't know, somehow even in her subconscious, she was making sure she wasn't in trouble for hanging upside down on the bunk bed. Because we told them, we tried to put the fear of the Lord in them, that they cannot play on the bunk bed. This was addressed many times. So even in her subconscious coming to, she was trying to like make sure that like she's okay, that she's in good standing. And I was like, yes, you're okay, don't worry. And I was like, can you see how, while we're at it, you know, since she's talking to me, I'm like, how are your eyes? Are you able to see? And she was like, kind of. And I was like, how many fingers am I on? Let's just keep going, you know. How many fingers am I holding up? And she started answering like she was able to see. It was absolutely, she could not see a thing. And then she just was able to see perfectly out of her right eye. And it was just her left eye that was a little blurry, but she was able to see. She was able to hear me. Oh my gosh, you guys, it was seriously after people started responding to my husband's post on Facebook. And I just can't say it enough. The power of prayer, you guys. God is real and God uses, it was an army. It was an army of people who prayed for us and prayed for our daughter, and God did it. He did it. it was there and then it was not. We still went through the motions of making sure everything was fine because she was labeled as a traumatic brain injury patient. So the trauma team came, the trauma unit came and put her in what they call a mobile hospital. So it was a gigantic like fire truck basically that was a hospital on wheels. They had her all connected to make sure nothing bad happened to her, and I rode that ambulance into Orlando. It was about an hour drive, and I tried to sleep, and we got there and spent the night there, and they figured cosmetic surgery would be necessary because there were fractures underneath both eyes and all around the bridge of her nose. It was a lot. It was a whole bunch of tiny fractures. We thought a broken nose for sure. And they were supposed to have surgery that morning for her. And they were just making sure. They had confirmed there was nothing in her brain. Absolutely nothing. Her vision was fine by the time it was actually morning time. She didn't even need to see anybody to double check. And no cosmetic surgery was needed. But they said the fractures would heal on their own within a year. So it just went from a whole bunch of somethings that were terrifying to nothing and being discharged before the afternoon. Crazy whirlwind. So, guys, this is hot on the heels of being let go. After reporting some stuff to my boss in January, I worked at a church and I had to report some very sensitive information to my boss that he needed to know, the pastor/boss of said church. And we were thanked for bringing the information forward. And when no action was taken to address the very serious problem that we brought forward, I was in an uncomfortable situation and it was not addressed properly. We brought it up again to my boss, my husband and I. And we did not see eye to eye. My boss did not think it was a serious thing or not as serious as we thought it was. And I was fired within a few days because I disagreed basically with him. So hot on the heels of that. And fast forward over the summer we had led worship at my father-in-law's church of 20 to 30 people. And they had donated half a year of salary to me. We didn't expect that. To me and Jeremiah both. Jeremiah preached and I led worship. And yeah, the church was touched and donated that to us. And not half a year. I would say 1/3 of a year. Sorry, my bad. But at that point, it was what I would have made up till then. So provision and protection, those are the two key words that my husband narrowed it down to. God has been our provider and our protector in the midst of all of these things. And the fact that I'm at home doing this and we're still financially okay, it's not the most exuberant situation financially, which is fine. Most people are struggling with that right now. So we understand that we're in that boat with a lot of people. God has done it. And even with that hospital visit, we found out we had another insurance policy or something, and it's severely less than what it should be. All of those things. So we are just extremely grateful and extremely thankful for what God has done. We know He's real. We are very grateful for all of that. We really are. There is no doubt in our mind that God does these things and He still works miracles. So I'm very thankful. So yeah, that is what happened, and that's kind of my why for that song, Oh Praise the Name. That's why I wanted to do that song, because I don't know what else. I don't know. I just wanted to praise His name after all of that. So yeah, if you guys have, I see Maria wrote, your daughter is a living testimony, and my husband said, totally agree, Maria. And Maria said, amen, Jeremiah, bless you all. And Joe said, God bless, she is okay. Yes, she is. And Brian said, I was late, but arrived to a perfect testimony. Yes, and Brian, you can always rewind to hear this song. It's a song called Oh Praise the Name by Hillsong. And Joe said, amen. If there are any other comments, go for it. I forgot. I was going to have my husband just say hi really quick. So if he's listening, he can come over here, but I'm not sure if he hears me, especially with the 30-second delay. But I was just going to have him say hi, because we do have our blog, like you can see on my websites, thealsbrookfamily.com. He just put up a wonderful, really well-written post on the role of a pastor, its biblical definition and its Greek definition and its original definition in Latin. And he goes through all the requirements that Scripture says a pastor is to abide by. So for those who are looking for a new church, for those who are looking for their first church, oh, hey, he's here. Hey, babe.
What's up?
Figured I'd introduce you to the World Wide Web.
Hello.
Oh, come closer, because the microphone's here, so they won't hear you very well. Guys, this is my husband, Jeremiah.
Hey, everybody.
Look at my stellar...
I have to crouch down.
I know, sorry. It's like pointed downward. But yeah, this is my wonderful husband and teammate, and they might not hear that well, so I'm going to put this over here. Do you have anything you want to say to the world?
I do not, other than hello. And thank you guys for hanging out with my wife and enjoying her company. She's great, so I'm glad that I get to share her with all of you because I think everybody needs a little bit of this greatness in her life. She's awesome.
Oh,
So
I did not tell him to say that. He's just being an awesome husband because he is.
It's true. I don't have a script, I promise.
Thanks, babe.
It's entirely ad-lib. So.
You're the best. Well, you should totally read. Oh, Joe McGuire says hi, and so does Maria, and so does Max. Max says, "Go Jeremiah."
That's what I get for leaving my laptop out in the next room.
It's like what you think your 5-year-old child's gonna do, but instead it's our 26-year-old friend.
I don't know.
But that's great. But yeah, definitely go to our website, thealsbrookfamily.com. My husband wrote a really great blog post. What is it called? The role of a pastor and why it's important.
Yeah, what is a pastor and why is that important?
Okay, what is a pastor and why is that important? Coming from, he's not actively serving as a pastor right now, but it's not a badge that he parades around saying he is or was. That's something I'm very proud of because I see him every day living that life here in our home. So yeah, it's very well written. And if you're looking for a pastor for your church, if you have a pastor, if you're sus about your pastor and you're not sure if he's doing the right thing, this is a very great, very unbiased list of all the biblical requirements that you can hold up. And we're not wanting you to go and blast your pastors. That's not the heart here. It's just so many people, they get involved in a church, and if they're having a hard time, they don't realize there is life outside of that church. There's life outside of that pastor. You can serve God outside of that church, and you can go to another church that's healthy and doing it the right way. It's not the end of the world, and a lot of people think it is. So we want to equip you. Maybe, I mean, you're the one who wrote it. Anything you want to say about that?
No, it probably would just be better for you to check it out.
Yeah, just check it out.
It's pretty long to give a synopsis of, so yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty
Check it out if you want
self-explanatory.
to.
Yeah, do it. And if you don't want to, you should still do it because it's great. Words of wisdom from this wonderful man right here.
All right, well, I'm going to leave.
He's leaving now, so here he goes.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks for coming, babe. And I think without further ado, I'm probably going to wrap it up too. I'm 8 minutes past the time I try to end it. But next week's song is going to be my cover of Colored People by DC Talk. And yeah, I tried my best to kids bopify it, so because it's definitely an upbeat happy song, but you know, it is what it is. I love DC Talk. I normally cover a song by them every 4 covers that I do, and I do a Disney song every 4 covers on rotation, a worship song, and then I'll do a secular song on the radio every 4 songs as well. So that's what's up for next Thursday. And this Saturday, my cover of You'll Be in My Heart from the movie Tarzan by Disney will be up on Saturday morning, this coming Saturday, the 9th, which is my birthday. So go ahead and check that out on Saturday morning. I'm really proud of this cover. I just think of my daughters every time I sing it too. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I love you so much. Any questions or comments, go for it. I put my email in the chat comments. You love DC Talk too, Maria? Yes, yes, yes. Let's go. Let's go, go, go. I have a DC Talk playlist of my full music video covers. So I've done Jesus Freak, In the Light, Say the Words, What If I Stumble, The Hard Way, and now Colored People. I have 6 songs on my DC Talk playlist. All right, everybody, you have a great night. I will talk to you next Thursday, but I have all that stuff always on my channel. Every day I have a short go up, and every other Saturday a full music video. Happy early birthday. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Woo! All right, I love you all so much. You have a great night. Check out all of these website things, and I will see you next time. Bye!